apparently funding both sides of in multiple fronts. And then after all that, being surprised that the American people don't want to vote for you again. I mean, that actually is the case. Here's a brand new poll from Emerson that shows Donald Trump ahead of Biden in 6 key battleground states. Now, the margins in some are tight, but Trump holds a single-digit lead in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. So, joining me to discuss, RNC co-chair Lara Trump. All right, Lara, the Biden campaign seems like surprised by this. It's like, dude, the guy has done a terrible job.
He's done a terrible job, Carl, and it's not just that you have to take anyone's word for it. People feel it. I think that's the difference now. You know, you hear these talking points coming out of the White House and all their TikTok influencers saying, life is great. Isn't everything wonderful right now? And the truth is, you can't lie to people when they don't have the same amount of money in their pocket. When, as you just pointed out, since Joe Biden took office, life is 20% more expensive on average for everybody across the country. When we're sending our money overseas because we're on the verge of World War III, when they see an open southern border and the people who are coming in illegally are then being given debit cards full of cash, put up at hotels in New York City and other cities all across the country, people see it and they feel it in their bottom line. And that is the problem that Joe Biden has. We have a really incredible opportunity this election cycle, something we haven't had really ever in our lifetime, which is to compare 2 presidents and 2 presidencies. We've never had that opportunity, but the Biden team has a huge hill to climb because people remember when Donald Trump was in office. They remember the historic tax breaks that we got as a country. They remember the peace agreements instead of wars in the Middle East, trade agreements with Canada, Mexico, and China. They remember all of the positives that happened under Donald Trump, like energy independence. And you can't fake those things and lie to people about them. So they have a huge battle, and I am not surprised to see those numbers. They actually should probably continue trending that way as we head towards November.
Yeah, and even the media is in on it. I mean, like, obviously, Biden said the other day that he's going to do away with the Trump tax cuts. It's like, that's going to cost average people like between $1,000 and $4,000 more a year that they're already paying with this garbage inflation. But MSNBC and Nicole Wallace is in full spin mode. Watch this.
Depending on what happens in November, 7 months from right now, this time next year, I might not be sitting here. There might not be a White House Correspondents' Dinner or a free press.
That is just such garbage. Like, there is no evidence that guy was more accessible to the press than any president in the history ever. He stopped for a press conference randomly on his way to the bathroom.
Yeah, no, exactly. You had the utmost transparency with Donald Trump as president. It's the exact opposite right now, by the way. You have the New York Times begging Joe Biden for any sort of information, and they're even finally knocking this guy. That tells you how bad it has gotten out there. But we had 4 years of Donald Trump doing just that. The fact is, Carl, as we're discussing, they really don't have any policies to run on. They don't have anything to show positively that Joe Biden and the Democrats have done for the American people. So this is their tactic now. It's fear-mongering. It's scare tactics. It's literally all they have left. So get ready to see a lot more of that, because as we head towards November and as it becomes clear that Donald Trump will become the 47th president, they're going to go into full-blown panic mode, and you're going to hear a lot more of this hot garbage out there.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously Nicole Wallace treated Joe Biden very differently, and we don't even have to play that for everybody to see that one. But, you know, Biden was asked on the Howard Stern, like, why would you go on the Howard Stern show of all places? He got a bunch of softballs on that one, but he asked about debating Trump, and he was like, yeah, I'll debate Trump anytime, anywhere. I mean, I love it. Trump even waited outside the courthouse for him and called him out on social media. But, I mean, like, let's get this thing going. Do you think it's actually going to happen?
Yeah, you could basically feel the alarms going off in the Biden camp whenever he said that. They were like, no, why did he do it? The truth is, Carl, we need debates. We need to see these 2 men on stage, side by side, talking about what they did in their presidencies. Because as I said, we can clearly compare these 2 things. We need to see Donald Trump on one side and Joe Biden, but the team that Biden has is in a full-blown panic because that is the last thing they want. Joe Biden can barely read off of a teleprompter, let alone stand on a stage and debate Donald Trump. Not only do we need more debates, we need them sooner, and we have actually called for this from the RNC. We want to see these 2 men on a stage before the first day of early voting starts. The reality is right now is scheduled. They have mid-September for the first debate.
you.